Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Renewed Minds. To say I'm delighted would be an understatement. I'm really ecstatic to welcome Kristina onto the show. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it, Kristina?
Yes, finally. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And well done on the podcast. I think it's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Nice.
Brilliant. We finally got around to it. So I'll just briefly say Kristina's background. She has a background in skincare consultant and nutritionist. So she helps people in this avenue and this business. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, Kristina.
Yes, it's a skincare and nutrition products. So we have a really good opportunity, home-based business, and we distribute the products as well.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So yeah, so today's theme that we're going to be discussing is, why does the narcissist cheat? Now, obviously, it's not just narcissists that cheat. So what we're actually going into, because anybody can cheat at the end of the day, right? So what we're actually going into is in depth as to why the actual narcissist cheats, what their motivations are to do that, and how you can kind of like be aware of the signs and protect yourselves, and just the general discussions, seeking each other's opinions on it with mine and Kristina's. So I think where we can like start off is like, okay, when it comes to cheating in relationships, like the narcissists, we know they need supply, right? And when it comes to narcissistic supply, we know it's like they need attention, admiration, they get bored easily, they need that kind of like sense of like gratification and validation. And perhaps like when they're in a relationship, they just get bored, because let's face it, Kristina, at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship, you have the honeymoon period, everyone knows that. You get to a stage where you have to like spice it up a bit, like put things into it and everything. So I don't know if there's anything you can add to that. I'll just turn this off, sorry about that.
Yeah, well, we don't like to be cheated, nobody likes to be.
Yeah,
no. Jealousy is a universal feeling. We don't like it, and it changes how we view trust. Some people not even able to trust again. Like you said, some people don't even come back from that kind of abuse and neglect.
Yeah.
I don't think all narcissists do cheat, but many of them do. Many of them do cheat, and like you said, because they will get bored of your supply, and the constant verification, and cheating is a great source of getting that.
Yeah.
Yes, and you might feel it, you might know, you might not know that you've been cheated on.
That's just one of the worst
feelings. You will always feel, sorry?
That's just one of the worst feelings, especially if like you're in a situation where you're suspecting you're being cheated on and you don't know, you can't prove it.
Yeah, you can't prove it, but you will always feel something. And, that's when usually I think gaslighting comes in.
Yeah.
When you're really not sure, you don't really have physical proof yet.
Yeah.
And gaslighting come in, and then you just begin to question your own thoughts, you think you're paranoid, and they tell you that you're paranoid, and you think like, oh my God, yeah, maybe I'm overthinking this.
Yeah.
But I think there's a difference when you've been cheated by, not like normal person, but not narcissist.
Empath.
They usually realize that they hurt you. They realize the damage they did, whether or not you decide to carry on being with them, carry on with the relationship or not. I don't think narcissists really care how they make you feel. They will never hate.
They don't have empathy like us empaths.
There's a lack of empathy, so I think that's a huge difference.
Yeah, I think like you were mentioning, which was one of the points I wanted to discuss, is like the gaslighting that occurs when they're trying to hide the fact they're cheating, and that can like also be love bombing as well. I think it all comes down to trusting your intuition and also that gut instinct. Because when we're in a relationship with a narcissist, we just forget that instinct and we just shut it off. That awareness of that instinct and just knowing, having that intuition that something's not right here, you have to go with your inner feeling. And I think with that, the gaslighting, like I said, I think love bombing can also easily happen in that situation
Yeah.
where they're trying to hide it, right? Like they're like love bombing you. Because I can relate with some friends where they've been in situations where it's like in your face, they're showing you that they're potentially cheating on you, but then because you love them, you get confused. This is really like deep complex. And once they start telling you they love you, it's like, well, they love me, but and that's love bombing. I mean, like it just
because you're holding on to the memories when the love bombing was happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just come back again and you just think like, what's going on? Why is this person suddenly changed?
Yeah, exactly. And it just like completely distorts your reality. So and I think that's what probably really makes it difficult for some people, especially if they're like attached to the narcissist and they don't have any other emotional support from anyone else. So I think it's absolutely crucial to probably families, friends, taking advice on certain situations to be able to look at it from a logical point of view. Yeah, I think that's really important. Another point, I think, when it comes to them cheating that I wanted us to discuss is the fact that we know a narcissist has like low self-esteem. So why would you think they would want to like cheat in regards to that characteristics about narcissists, do you think, Kristina?
Well, like we said before, I think to get more supply, it will just give them a feeling of self-importance, of the even sexual performance, things like, I will hear even things about size, like overly exaggerated, but it was all the time, it was mentioned quite often. And that's not thinking, is this a joke? Is this,
serious?
You just confirm this all the time? Like, what is going on here? And in my case, I think because I didn't know the person who was cheating, like I didn't have solid proof until the very end. I think it's just admiration. It's egoistical admiration. And because they have low self-esteem, so they're having that low self-esteem, but with, like, how do you say, because they come across overly self-confident.
Yeah, it's like a false image.
Hiding, yes, that's how they're hiding the, underlying issues.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes, and I think probably serial cheating makes them feel better about themselves. I don't know.
I think even for some narcissists, it can almost even be like a drug for them. Like they just almost can't do without it. And yeah, some of them might even, you can go as far as even being addicts or sex addicts or something, and maybe they just can't get enough of that supply. So I think in some situations it can be like, I was discussing with someone the other day, like it doesn't matter. I think it was even on one of the episodes, and a narcissist can just cheat on you for someone that has like a nicer shirt. I mean, it just can be completely ridiculous. Like
they also feel like they're entitled. Yeah,
exactly.
To do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing to do with you, and I think that's the really dangerous aspect, that it can even cause the empath to have low self-esteem. Like, is it me? Like, what am I doing wrong? And this goes for like males and females. I mean, like, it can be really devastating.
Yeah.
And I think it's like really important for people to like see these patterns. Obviously, it's not going to be that obvious to like know, especially if they're hiding it. And then there's that challenge. I mean, what do you think, Kristina? Like, if someone's suspecting they're being cheated on, but if you're trying to snoop around and find out, it's going to look like you don't trust the person. So how would you think, I mean, from your experience as well, what do you think they should do to like go about that?
Well, just definitely trust your intuition. And if you don't feel like when you're expressing your worries to your partner that like he's sitting there with you, you know, like he's holding the space for you.
Yeah.
This is probably you know, the red flags.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if like you're trying to snoop around, they're like, oh, what are you doing? Or if, let's say, you know their password or something, and you have that deep intuition in you that you just can't help it. So you just want that proof to know that, yeah, you know, just to be able to.
Yeah, deep inside, you're always going to know. And
yeah,
things, they will just gonna start dismissing you, gaslighting you. That's when the huge doubt going to come in. If you don't trust me, what's the point in the relationship? You know, there's no point in all this. And they will just swear you. They never do anything like that.
Yeah.
But you want to look into things as well, like their previous relationship.
Yeah.
So slightly, they will always tell you if they cheated before, which in my case was the case. They have, and you know, you need to look into. You need to pay attention to this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because later on, it's most likely will be a case why you splitting up.
Yeah. I think it's like, it'd be controversial then if like, say you wanted, well, obviously we know like you shouldn't snoop around your partner's phone, but have that intuition and, you know, and you go through it and it's like,
I tried, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the difficult parts to just, I guess they can just approach it to ask their partner, but at the same time, you're going to get gaslighted. So it's a really difficult situation. And I think for that, maybe just seeking advice from outside and from friends and, you know, just trusting your gut. I think also like previous experiences, like even some friends have shared with me, I think if you have a partner, say that sometimes would tell you a story that, oh, my partner didn't trust me, they always thought, there's always two sides to every story. I mean,
of course, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And if you're feeling that same mistrust for whatever reason, then, you know, there's something there to like follow your gut instincts. You know, be sure about what's going on with that. I mean, would you?
But we don't always know, unless you have the proof. Like I said, in my case, you might not know until after.
Yeah. True.
Because they're really, really good at hiding. You just might not know how the information is going to come. And then when you, for example, already split up, you know, what can you do after that? You just suddenly like, you know, realize. And when you're saying seek help from family or friends, maybe podcasts like this is really good because I, for example, never heard about the term gaslighting or
Narcissistic.
I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that it's a mental abuse.
Yeah, definitely.
You generally start thinking there's something wrong with you. You generally start thinking you're paranoid. You're doubting your whole reality. But there is still something a little bit sitting there. You know, something's not right. You know, listen to yourself, but you don't because you're so deep into it. You know, your reality is not your reality, and you lose yourself completely. Definitely. So when I heard about the term, because actually was some of my friends were saying, you know, this person traits a little bit narcissistic, so that's when I started looking into it.
Oh wow! So you heard it from your friends, actually?
I've heard it from a friend, and then. So
friends are really important, guys. Like good friends that is, not narcissistic friends.
Yes, and it's important to know how to heal as well. You know, how to express it later on, and
definitely
understand that it's nothing to do with you. It's their own decision and their own journey with that.
That's very important, and I think another point that even from some experiences I've had and some friends have had is a pattern where there might be a commitment phobia. And to say that, you see a pattern where it's like approach and avoidance. And what I mean by that is in a committed relationship, you know, challenges are going to come. They'll always come, whether you like it or not, come rain or shine. Honeymoon period's not going to last forever. And if you're noticing some points where you have issues and the person just seems to just always run away from the problems, or just completely just go AWOL without, you know, anything, I think that's not healthy. I mean, it's good to sometimes have space with arguments, but there should be like some kind of pattern that, you know, you as a couple, you kind of like devise to solve the issues, because you both have different personalities and it's just working together. I mean, what do you think about that? How do you think they should go about that in regards to like seeing a partner that's always going away when there's challenges and stuff?
Yeah. The silent treatment. Yeah, the silent treatment is familiar, and that's really that's so painful.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Like the previous interview, he said, you know, you feel like your energy has been extracted, you know, from you. Even in a distance, you know, like not replying messages, or could be in the same room, just completely ignoring you.
Really cold behavior, like
really cold behavior. That happens, I think, most of the time when you either stand up for yourself in certain occasions, asking questions, or you know, want to actually talk about the relationship, and it's because it's not going the way they want it to go. They decided the conversation is finished, you know, because they know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Today I was listening to something the lady was saying. Usually what they say is, you know, you're too sensitive, or here we go again. This is like the main thing. So
that sounds very familiar. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Definitely. So, and I think a very painful part of that is because like you're used to having, well, the love bombing, which people believe is love, true love from the individual. And then they can just, this is another sign, I think, they can just so suddenly just switch, like just go so cold. And I think that can be very painful for the abused and leave them in a state of confusion as to how can like a human being just switch so much like that. But like people have said on previous episodes, because they're so disconnected from reality and
because they don't care, like they never you know, the previous question, not previous question, the previous interview was a question,
not being detached.
You know, I didn't know they're abusing. I don't know if they know or not. I just think that they generally don't care.
They really don't. They really don't.
Yeah.
Especially if you're hearing stuff like, I don't care about your feelings, you know, it's a huge red flag. I mean, and, you know,
there's no empathy.
Yeah. And the empath might make excuses for the narcissist, but it's a huge warning sign. And I think another, possibly, if we have enough time for to discuss, another possible one is the fact that, you know, they tend to be like loners, almost like isolated from society. And I think it's a point that's been touched on in previous episodes. When you notice that they don't like mix with a lot of people, perhaps not have any friends, I think that could be another avenue, and you kind of like suspicious of maybe things they're doing, you know, in their personal time and things like that. I don't know if you've had an experience like that.
I haven't, no. To be honest, the narcissist that I came across was usually quiet.
Extroverted.
Really, you know, outgoing, and actually wanted to be
the life of the party.
Get the attention on themselves as much as possible, you know. So I haven't really come across a lot of times.
Okay, what are the possible signs do you think people can watch out for then with maybe an extroverted from your experience?
Extrovert from just exaggerating, you know, like every story. You will eventually start catching on little lines, but it will be constant the duration of, you know, life story or situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, they will just, you know, people who likes to talk about themselves all the time. They're very charming though, you know.
Wow.
So
Yeah, charming. Yeah, that's definitely one. Yeah.
yeah.
And I think another reason they probably do it is to like they feel the cheating. They feel like they're better than you, and like normality is not for them. Like they might even want to get married just as a cover up, and then to
Yeah.
do what they want to do. And I think it can be really tragic for people that have been in marriages with narcissists for like over 25 years.
Yeah, you get really sucked into it. It's hard to get out. That's why
Yeah, that could be
when
extreme.
you heal, it's important, I think, to express it somehow. You know, to understand the festival and then express it. I think that's when I stopped painting.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Because it was just, you know, something was trying to come out, and really later I understand that was a form of healing. Something good came out of it, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. It's something that we've got to be aware of, and people have just got to watch out for these signs as to like why a partner is behaving like this, and just ultimately protect yourself. Talk with your friends. Obviously, you know, you're not going to expose every single detail by relationship, but the key things that you need to discuss with your friends, keep them close,
Yeah.
keep family close, and not be just isolated, you know, with the narcissist and that. I think that's be really important. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that for us to wrap up, Kristina.
No, just to watch out for the signs, you know, just to see the difference between when makes your person has some level of empathy for you, you know, trying to sit with you and have a space for you, you know, when usually you get dismissed.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
what if Kristina, they're like faking the empathy though? Like that's another thing. Like how would you like be able to judge, or from your
true.
experiences now, how would you have done things maybe differently if you know the narcissist is faking the empathy? Like how would you approach it?
Yeah, I think in my case it was faking a little bit. Sometimes maybe you just don't know until later, I suppose. But when you just start feeling, you know, going forward with the relationship, when you just feel unhappy, you know, simple as that. Unseen, unhappy, they might fake empathy. They probably will, because
Yeah.
they will mirror you. They will just repeat everything you said, and probably will have, you know, it feels like you have a lot in common at the beginning, and then later there will be nothing in common.
Yeah. You imagine.
Um,
By the time you realize, and then you realize you're the one putting in all the energy and everything.
yeah.
Because they all come up to a point where they do realize that as the empath,
Yeah.
no matter how long it takes. But yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to give you some sort of story that you're going to feel sorry for them, and then like your friend said before, you will always just feel sorry for them, and that will be your excuse. Or they're like this, you know, they should me like this because they had a hard childhood or whatever.
Yeah. And that's another key thing though, like I think that's another key thing, because when you keep feeling sorry for them, that's what they play on. They bank on the empath's love for them. So sometimes we just need to take a step back and also think about ourselves. And a relationship shouldn't be one-sided. It should be both. One person should have to sacrifice themselves just for the other person. And I think that's something to definitely watch out for, guys, when we're in relationships. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate it. It's been a long time coming, but we got down to it in the end.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks for being on the show. And hopefully at some point in the future, you'll be coming again to talk to us about some other topics on it.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Hey guys, hope we enjoyed that episode. We're going to be having more different themes on the show. So do stay tuned for future episodes. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned so that you regularly posted of future conversations on Renewed Minds. Thank you. Peace out.